Hello, hello, hello. My tripod. Oh, this is where it's gonna go. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us here on the Miss Lillian's page. My name is Debbie Tona, and I am a content creator for the lovely Miss Lillian's Paint. And I am here today to play with some paint and some tissue paper and some other things, because if you follow me on every other Wednesday, I come live on here and I like to blend and I like to shake it up and mix it up. So today I grabbed a variety of colors. We're going to see if any of them stick. And if they don't, we'll pull other ones. That's the great thing about paint, is sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. So I have this really cute little side table. It's like a nightstand. See that? I did prep it already with a couple things. I washed it first with the first step. I scuff sanded it because I scuff sand everything, because it always has some weird funky stuff on it. So I want to get that ready. Hi, Lori. And on the back wall here, the reason that this is painted white is because I thought we should add some tissue paper. So this one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. And then there's this tray that actually fits inside of here. Kind of fun, right? It could be, it came with it, so it fits in here. So I'm going to use the last little scrap of tissue paper, and this is the one we're going to blend today on here. I painted white behind it. Does anybody know why we paint white behind tissue paper? The reason is if you were to not paint white behind it, let's see if I can show. It makes the color very dark. It makes your paper very dark. It's kind of hard to tell. You can really tell if you don't do it. So I like to always paint white behind it, then apply my tissue paper, then do my blending. It's a cute piece, right? So we're going to put this out of the way for now. And I think we're going to paint the inside first, because I don't think that I can not get paint all over the paper. I think we'll put the paper on after we get done. And it's going to be hard to paint inside this cabinet. I wasn't sure about picking this piece because, like, all you're going to see is the back of my head. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. And if that's the case, you're going to have to tell me, and I'll have to film it or something and video clip it, because it's very hard to do a live and have you see the back of my head the whole time. So let's get a base coat put down. So I grabbed a couple colors, Stella Luna being one of my all-time favorites, because I looked at the colors in the paper and I thought, why not bring out some of these colors? So there's some reds. I didn't pull a red, but I can go grab one. There's reds, there's oranges, there's yellows. So I picked Stella Luna, which I have in a big one. This one is Orange Fluff, which is kind of a yellow, pretty, I love this color. It's like a very soft yellow. Like, I'd like to paint my front door that color. Bohemian Queen, not the king, but the queen. It's kind of a turquoisey color. And then the orange that I have is Bay Seasoning. These are great too for pumpkins, you guys. I know we're all doing fall stuff right now. So it's a great orange to use for that. So we're going to grab my Stella Luna. We're just going to throw down a base coat. We got to get something on here, right? We're going to paint the inside first. I should get my small brush. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to have to get a brush with not so big of a handle, because this is what I'm going to end up fighting with the whole time, right? Painting inside of cabinets is not for the faint of heart, I can tell you. I do have a brush, small handle. Is my Klingon. Oh no, I put it, look at, oh, he got a boo-boo. Look at, he got a boo-boo. When I put him away, he got cranked. Oh well. Poor guy. I covet my brushes. Brushes are like gold for me. Okay, there we go. I like this one. It's an S50. It's It allows me to get into these small spaces. And if I do pull the blue up on that white back there, it's not going to really matter. Have you used Stella Luna before? If you follow me for any amount of time, is probably when I first decided to become a paint retailer for Miss Lillian's. Marilyn, the owner of the company, sent me some paint, and Stella Luna was in it, and I fell in love from day one. It's the paint I use the most. I love this color. I just think it's so pretty. It's just the richest, deepest, beautiful blue that I've ever seen. And it goes on so nicely. So I'm just going to put a base down, and then we're going to kind of see if we want to blend the inside of this, which I don't know, right? It's going to be hard to blend the inside of a cabinet. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. I may just have to blend the sides of the piece, or a little bit like on the bottom. When I paint, I never know what I'm going to do. I literally just remembered at 3 o'clock today, so it's 4 o'clock where I'm at. I'm in Idaho, in a town called Nampa, which is out of Boise, about 20 minutes. And so we're on mountain time. So about 3 o'clock today, I was like, oh, I have a live at 4. I might want to prepare something. This is my life. This is how I roll. I have a brick and mortar store, so we're fairly busy with people coming in and out. So I generally don't have a lot of time to plan anything. But I happen to have this piece. I prepped it really quick and thought, this is perfect. Perfect size, perfect fun little piece. We can blend up here on the drawer. That might be where we do the blending. Maybe we just leave this dark. Maybe I add a little bit of another blue in here, like the Bohemian Queen, to just do something, right? So whenever I do any kind of painting, I always like to put my base coat down. And you guys, just get paint on there. It doesn't have to be super anything, because the paint will do its deal. It'll level out as it dries. It'll be beautiful. The first coat's always going to be a little streaky. That's totally normal. And then you're going to start working on your second coat. So if I'm going to blend a surface, I am always going to put a base coat down first. That's how I roll. I don't like to blend 2 coats of paint, because the first coat never looks good because it's super streaky. So I always just throw down a base coat. That's how I do it. And as I tell everybody, you do you. Whatever works for you, whatever works the best for you is how you should do it. All we're doing is trying to give you some pointers and tips and tricks. I have been painting full time. I've had my store, just had my 7-year anniversary. So I've been painting full time for the last 7 years. So I've made a lot of mistakes with painting. I've learned a lot of things, and I learn every single day. Still, I try all the different products to see what does what. There's always something else, right? Always. But look at how nicely this paint lays out and actually goes on. And you will be thoroughly amazed, if you use the right brushes and the right paint, how actually easy it is to paint pieces and get them looking like a professional's. Okay, a little bit more. I see a couple spots that I missed because I was standing up. Paint this right here too, because I can see it because I'm sitting down here. Probably won't see it. Okay, let's grab this tray. And let's paint the outside. We're going to leave the middle white because we want to put the tissue paper in the middle. But let's just get this outside done. And then I think we'll blend a little bit on it. Inside lip, blue. Because this is cool. This is like a breakfast tray, so I guess this could be like a nightstand. I only have one though, and it will be for sale when I'm done. You live locally and you see it, to come in, please do. Hey Belva, how's it going, honey? Thank you so much for that sweet comment today. Belva left me such a nice comment today on my page about how much she's learned from me and how she loves what I do, which just, you know what? I love that. I love the fact that you guys appreciate how hard we work as artists. You know, it's not easy coming on here and like going live, right? Have you ever done it? Has anybody ever done it? It's crazy, right? To go in and talk to yourself, talk to a computer screen and answer people's questions. A lot of trolls out there, a lot of critics. I'm always like, all right, let's go back to the side. I always think to myself, when's the last time you ever went live? Did everything, right? You finally caught me live. I have been fighting my allergies, have been kicking my butt. Anybody else? I don't know what's blooming in Idaho right now. Or is it the smoke? We have the awful fires like all around us right now. So bear with me if I have to take a drink every now and again. I'm not going to worry about the sides because I don't want to turn this thing 10 times while we're here, but I think quick with the dryer. You really do need to get the base coat dry so that you can start blending over the top. So we're just going to kind of play with it and with the paper and see if I can't get this paper stuck today too. We'll see. We shall see. So I'm streaming live on 3 platforms right now. I'm streaming live on Miss Lillian's. I'm streaming live on my page, Tone of Transformation. And I'm streaming live on my YouTube channel, which is also Tone of Transformation. So you can catch me on the replay on any of those platforms if you so choose. If you are on my page, please hop on over and like Miss Lillian's page. I saw a part right there I didn't even paint. And vice versa. If you're on Miss Lillian's page, please hop on over to Tona, it's T-O-N-A Transformation, and like that page. I try to come on every other Wednesday and do a live, and I generally blend. That's kind of my thing. Once I learned how to do it, it's just my passion. I love making new things that just you wouldn't think of, right? New fun things. Be careful when you put these down there. Hot. Okay, now what? Next. I mean, I could just keep it dark blue, but that ain't no fun. So I already had the paint poured earlier because sometimes I experiment with my colors before I actually do a live just to see if they fly with each other. So let me do this. I'm going to add a little bit of the Bohemian Queen in my bucket. I've got the orange and then I've got the yellow. So we've got those 3 colors. Let's see. Same brush. We're going to have to use this brush for the whole thing. I'm not very good at blending with this small brush, so we'll see how it works. But I think that blue is making it too... Let's add a little bit of yellow. Okay. Oh, that's the blue. Can you see that? You guys can't even see what I'm doing. What the heck am I doing? Debbie. There you go. Da, 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 da. I have to just look at my computer so I can see. So this is a combination of Bohemian Queen and Stella Luna is the base, which we can blend some Stella Luna in. And some of the yellow, which is called again, I can't remember, Orange Fluff. So it's really like, it's not orange. It's kind of orange base, I guess, but it is a gorgeous, soft yellow. Loving it. So yellow and blue make a green. So this is more like a turquoisey color, which if we look back to our paper, it's going to pull those colors, right? That's kind of what I'm going for. I'm going to grab some of my Stella Luna, add it into the mix. And let me tell you how hard it is to blend inside of this cabinet. It's really hard because I don't have much room to work. And let's go this way. I wish I had a smaller round brush. I'm not very good at blending with a this kind of brush. I'm better with the round brush, which I know some people are great with blending with this one. I just never use this one. So we're going to keep playing with these colors. Super cool today. Like, we had a storm move in, and yesterday we were at 95, and today we're like at 70. So the weather is allowing me to not have to spray this with any water. That's kind of cool, right? Usually I would have to spray it to keep the paint loose and moist, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have to do that today. So I am grabbing a little bit of the Bohemian Queen, just adding that on. I told you it was going to be hard for me to get inside this cupboard. A little bit of the yellow. I'm thinking the orange is going to turn it brown. So now that I see the orange, maybe I don't use the orange. Maybe I just float that yellow. And let's float the yellow like down to make it look like a storm cloud. You don't always have to blend back and forth. Did you know that? Let me move my light so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Does that help? There we go. It's hard because there's a shadow back here. I can see it. So then we're going to go back over it, soften that blend. Remember, tissue paper is going all the way back here. What do you guys think so far of this kind of like color combo? You like it? You don't like it? Suggestions like yes, no, maybe so. Like, help sister out. I always love the input. Bohemian Queen is a beautiful peacock color. That's what it reminds me of, like a peacock. You know, the middle of their feathers. That's what it reminds me of. So I'm going to just go and keep blending with the Bohemian Queen and then the orange fluff, which I don't see orange, I see yellow. And it's kind of making a turquoisey color for me, which is actually beautiful. Then I'm going to dip into my Stella Luna and just add a little bit of that dark blue back in. I've got my light like hanging right on my head right now, like a halo. So on the sides, on the inside of this piece, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's hard to blend like inside of a cabinet. So Lori says, or Belva says, oh, nobody said anything. No comments. Nobody watching me. You guys say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love that. I'd love to hear where you're at. Where the heck are you? I'm in Idaho. Where are you? Miss Lillian's is based out of Tennessee. I went to Tennessee for the first time a couple years ago. I did not know Maryland at the time, or I would have made sure that I stopped by and saw her, but I didn't go to Nashville to go to like Nashville. I'm not into that. I went for a meeting, but I did go to Nashville for a meeting, but I didn't even, there was too many people for me. I couldn't even stand the downtown part. It was like, whoa, crazy. Let's kind of go up on this a little bit and see what we can get going. Adding the Stella Luna on here. Just kind of, there's some really pretty ornate, like scrolly stuff on the side of this girl. Probably should have blended the side because it probably would have been easier to do on camera. I am just dipping in all the colors. The Stella Luna, the Bohemian Queen, and the orange fluff to just give me some kind of a direction because I still don't know which direction I'm going in. So when you guys ask us or me or whoever, what color are you going to paint it? Do you know I never know? I never know what color I'm going to paint it. Belva lives in New York. Hi, Linda. Mary. How are you? I know she lives in California. You're paying attention? Good. Pay lots of attention. I just had some damage on the side here, so I taped that up. But super easy. Just take little strokes. I'm not tall enough. I need to get Let's do the next shelf, but let me readjust. I got to move everything. Hold on. Let me get you up higher so you can see it. This furniture right here we can go on. Hold on. You can go up in the sky. I don't have to put it down. Hold on. Readjust. Readjust. Okay. There we go. There, now you can see this shelf. So we've got Bohemian. How come I can't say that word? Queen, which is a beautiful turquoise. Like I said, it reminds me of the peacock feathers. You know, in the middle of them, that bright turquoisey color. That's what it reminds me of. Beautiful. Can we see that? Let's go a little bit higher. There you go. Is that helpful? Now the light is out of the black. Oh, yeah. There you go. So hard. Got to adjust all the cameras. Got to do all the things. How do they make movies, man? I don't even know how you would know to adjust anything. Of course, that people do it for you. It's not like a one band show like me, right? A little bit of Stella Luna in there. So I am just dipping my brush in a little bit of paint at a time, going back and forth. Now comes the yellow. The yellow is the beautiful surprise, right? Yellow is the beautiful surprise that we get. There we go. Now I'm holding this painting, so if it falls and you hear me scream, you'll know why. That is such a pretty combo. That right there together is gorgeous. So that is orange fluff, which I'm going to order some more of this, with Bohemian Queen and a little Stella Luna thrown in for good measure. Oh, this thing is heavy too. This is solid. Vintage pieces. I only buy vintage pieces. They are just the most well constructed. But do note that this paint will stick to anything. It does not have to be old. That is just my personal preference and what I like to paint as a furniture artist and sell in my store. That's not to say that I don't paint brand new pieces of furniture that came from IKEA or whatever. There's always a way to paint those pieces that will make paint stick with primers and stuff like that. So just because I do vintage doesn't mean that's all, that works with paint. This is a no wax chalk paint. What that means is you don't have to seal it. When you're done painting, guess what? You walk away. You are done. Done, right? So we're going to put this Bohemian Queen on top. And we're going to add some of that yellow, which is orange fluff. You see that? It looks like a beautiful, it reminds me of a sunset, right? Sunset over the water. Here's the ocean, and then you've got the sun going down. You guys have pretty sunsets where you are. In Idaho, with the fires lately, the sunsets have been beautiful. Very pretty. It's not a good reason to have a sunset like that. I'd rather not have the fires. I think many places in the nation are burning right now, right? Many places. So we are going to put the decoupage paper in here, but I don't think I'm going to do that live because I need to paint the sides of each one. And if I were to do that, I would probably make a terrible mess. So let's go ahead and do it in the tray instead. Let me move this thing and do it in the tray. That way we can see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can pick this thing up without breaking my body. Okay, something. Oh, come on. I'm stuck to my blow up. Come on. That's heavy. And did you see what I did? Did you see it? You can look. See that? The entire jar of paint I just filled. This is what we do when it happens to be our laptop. That's why you should always close your jars when you are painting. That is my rule when I teach a painting class. I tell my students, make sure you close your jar. Because if you don't, it's going to happen. That's what happened. Yep, it does. But I need this paint, so we're going to save it. And it will be just fine. Might add a little texture. With. Anybody else have this happen to them? Yeah. Am I the only lucky one? Grab a spatula, grab something. So once upon a time, we were doing some work inside our house. And we had just got brand new carpet. And my husband was staining something, and it was like January, so it was too cold to be in the garage to do it. He had this whole, oh no, he was painting, not staining, painting. He had this whole can of paint sitting on, on a tarp and blah, blah, blah. I call him in for dinner. We got 2 big German shepherds. We're done eating, and guess what? We look over, and the whole entire can is spilled. Well, there was a tarp, but guess what? They didn't get it off the tarp. They got it all over our brand new carpet. Yeah. We luckily had one of the carpet shampooers. And I mean, we went and did it and did it and did it and did it. Finally got it out. But yeah, that's what happens. So always put the lids back on your containers, or you will be like me, taking out paint in the middle of your live and having it all over your hands. So moving right along. Let me grab the paper. So you know what they say. It happens. No need to get mad about it. Just figure it out and move on. Okay, let's grab the tray. Let's take you down. Let's see this right there. Lori lives in Connecticut. Oh, you had the same thing happen to you. You had to replace your rug. Hi, Ronnie. Okay. Here we go. We go ahead and put a coat around the edges, right? Now look at my hands. Luckily, with the paint, guess what? It comes off really, really easily. Soap and water. Same way we clean our brushes. So what I did notice, or what I did do, is the tissue paper that I am using, I'm using it for the 2 openings inside of the nightstand. And then whatever was left is what I'm using on inside of the tray. Well, there wasn't a lot left. So I could have grabbed a whole other sheet of tissue, but there was actually just enough left for me to put it down and blend in on these 2 sides. Okay. So I cut it so that it would fit already. Okay. See that? So we've got the poppies, I guess is what they are. So they kind of fit in here. It's pretty much in the middle. So we're going to add some of our satin luster, which is probably glued shut, but I actually put Vaseline on my rim of my lid last time. So here's a quick tip for you. If you have jars that stick, take some Vaseline and run it around the rims of your jars, and you won't have such a problem. like I do, because I always don't have to do that. So we are going to put this tissue on here. So we're going to peel back half of it. We're going to, remember we did the white background. We're going to put the top cup down so that our tissue paper has something to adhere to. Now, if you're doing this on a piece of furniture or something, you can do a couple things. You can grab an old brush or any kind of a paintbrush that doesn't have paint on it, and you can use it to smooth out. This is very helpful so that you don't rip your paper. You can also take some saran wrap or like a Walmart bag and crumple it up in your hand and use that and rub it on like that, because we tend to be very heavy-handed with our hands, at least I am. So that is already adhering. That stuff sticks fast. You don't need a lot. So remember, this is the breakfast tray part of this piece. So I'm going to take and use that to smooth out my paper to get all my bubbles out and my little inclusions and whatever else. Did notice that I didn't go far enough on the side over here. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then we are going to take and do an entire coat over the top. What this is going to do is seal the paper on here and make so this stuff is never going to come off unless we sand it off. So now it's going to be permanent. And then we're going to dry it, and we are going to seal or paint the sides so that it doesn't look like a mess. Okay. So I want to point something out. Do you see this right here where you can see the stuff coming through? You know why that is? It's because the blue got down and it's not white. So you can definitely see underneath tissue paper. So do you see what I mean? Right there where the blue is. So if it had stayed white, you wouldn't be able to see that. You can really see it on the white flour, but it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to try to take the whole thing off and fix it because of that, because I'll just ruin it. It's not that important. I'm going to blend over this anyhow. So let's grab our dryer. Let's dry this a little bit so that we can paint. I'm going to go put this in water, or my brush is going to be not usable because it's dry. Give me 2 seconds to put this in water. Okay. And actually, it takes a little bit longer to dry on paper than it does just over paint or stain. Satin luster is really good to use over stain too, if you're going to stain a piece. Where's my dryer? Underneath all this spill paint. One of those days. So we're just going to dry this really quick. Just the edges more so we can blend over the top of it. And it just, the reason I just don't want it to move, right? I don't want the paper to move. Isn't it pretty? So I do have a couple more of these. It's on my website, tonatransformations.com. I have a couple more of these in stock. This paper. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what it's called. I'm actually going to get a smaller brush than this one to blend because so I have a smaller brush. This is a R12 from Cling On. And put a little bit of Stella Luna. Remember that paper? See now how it just disappears. And to be honest, I should have tore this paper first. I was in such a rush, I didn't even think about it. It's easier to hide lines when your paper is torn. as opposed to when your paper is not. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the yellow color. And what's going to do, we're going to paint down on here because it's going to make it look like this is actually part of the photo, right? You're going to make the line disappear. The yellow blends, guess what, pretty well with this white flower over here. Okay. See how my line just pretty much disappeared? Do this side. Tap, tap, tap. So since my paper didn't go edge to edge, no big deal. Just blend it in, make it look like it belongs. You can go ahead and put some of this color up inside of your design so that it really does go well with everything. And I must say, I blew it. I should have torn my paper. If I would have torn my paper, this edge is easier to hide. But I didn't tear my paper. My bad. My bad for being in such a hurry to do it. But now then when I add the yellow, you know what? It's scared. You don't see it as much. At all. And the tissue paper is still drying. So. Now it looks like a piece of art, right? It doesn't look like just a piece of crazy tissue paper. That was so simple. Right? Now that is going to go in that piece. I am going to go ahead and finish and install the other two things in there after I clean up this paint over here. What a mess. Let's go over what we did. We used, I thought I was going to use orange, but I didn't. So I used 3 colors. Stella Luna, which is the darker blue. Bohemian Queen, which is the turquoise peacocky color. It reminds me of the middle of a peacock feather. And Orange Fluff, which is this yellow color. And we didn't use the orange at all. Now, when you use orange and blue, it kind of makes a brownish green color. So that's why I was like, yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. So we go ahead and do the inside. We're going to put the decoupage paper in there. I will post pictures on Massilians when this piece is done. It's just too hard to finish an entire piece in less than an hour when you are live. So if you'd like to follow along with the progress, keep following this page. If you like to order paint and you're on Massilians, I have an affiliate link. If you're on my page, you can come in and order it from me direct. Okay, you guys, hey, thanks for hanging out. I hope it wasn't too crazy with spilled paint and things that, you know, I didn't tear the paper. But you know what? Sometimes we do those things too. Like I do this for a living, and you know what? It's still doesn't matter, right? It's still beautiful. It's not like anybody could tell. You can't tell. Can you tell? You can't tell. And then just use colors that go with the paper. And next thing you know, it looks like a piece of art. Love this tissue. This tissue is gorgeous. I have a bunch of tissue on my website if you guys are interested. Okay. So what I say every week before I sign off is go out and be fabulous. Have a great day. Hug your loved ones. And if you have questions, let me know. And you know what? With that,